So the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, that the greatest fitna that mankind will experience from the time of Adam alayhi salam to the last day would be the fitna of Dajjal, the test, the trials, the deceptions of Dajjal. And if he tests us and we fail, he's going to succeed and he will rule the world. It is instructive that nowhere in the Quran is the word Dajjal to be found. Nowhere. But the Prophet said, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam, that if you recite the first 10 ayat of Surah Al-Kahf, and in another hadith, the last 10 as well, it will protect you from the fitna of Dajjal. And so Surah Al-Kahf is recognized as the surah of ilmu akhiru zaman. This is the surah of ilmu akhiru zaman. Because Dajjal is the mastermind of akhiru zaman. And the beginning of this surah offers you protection from his fitna. But the surah does more than that, and we will come to it inshallah later. So it is in this surah, Surah Al-Kahf, and it's not by accident that Allah now chooses to narrate the episode of Musa alayhi salam traveling to the place where the two oceans meet in search of the most learned of all men. This is not by accident, because there is a link between Dajjal and this most learned of all men. And tonight we speaking to you, the Jewish people, and we the followers of Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam, we taking you on a journey so you can meet those who are most learned, more learned than you are. He is known as Khidr alayhi salam, but his name is not to be found in the Quran. Why? It's an interesting question. Why does Allah not put the name Dajjal in the Quran? Why? When no one poses a greater threat to faith than Dajjal. No one, not even Shaitan. Why is the name Khidr not found in the Quran? Why? Is it by accident? No, it's not. Another link between Dajjal and Khidr, and I want to do that before I end. Musa alayhi salam is the head of the Ummah, Banu Israel, and they are a people who are waiting for the Messiah to come. And they heard that someone is coming to Medina. So the cream of the Jewish scholarship moved to Medina. At that time it was called Yathrib. In anticipation, waiting for this one person to come. And when Nabi Muhammad ﷺ emerged in Mecca, the Quraysh did not know how to deal with this situation. How can we tell whether or not he is indeed a true prophet? Let us send a delegation to Medina, at that time called Yathrib. And incidentally, I've just written, this book came from the printry only yesterday. Medina returns to center stage in Akhiru Zaman. And we have it here tonight. We also have it in Bahasa, Madina kembali ke persada tumpuan di akhir zaman. We have it outside. Very small, maybe about 30, 40 pages. Let us send a delegation to Medina to ask the rabbis, how can we tell whether he is indeed a true prophet? The rabbis responded and said, ask him 3 questions which only a prophet can answer. And in this book we analyze, Surah Al-Kahf in the modern age, we analyze those 3 questions. Number 1, ask him about the ruh, the spirit. Number 2, ask him about the great traveler who traveled to the 2 ends of the earth. Number 3, ask him about the young men in the cave. Only a prophet can answer. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends down the answers in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in sending down the answers, does something to tell them, I understand that first question is different from the other 2. The other 2 relate to Akhiru Zaman, but the first one does not. So he sends down the answer to question 1, but he puts it in Surah Al-Isra. وَيَسَلُونَكَ عَنِ الرُّوحِ, and they question thee about the ruh. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends down the answer to the second question about the great traveler. And he puts it in Surah Al-Kahf, not in Surah Al-Isra. Because Surah Al-Kahf is the surah of Akhiru Zaman. And then he proceeds to tell us the story of Zulkarnain. But notice something, notice carefully, that in answering question 1, he repeated the question and then answered it. وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الرُّوحِ, he repeated the question and then answered it. In answering question 2, he did the same thing. وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنْ ذِي الْقَرْنَيْنِ, and they questioned thee about Zulkarnain, and then he answered it. And in answering question 2, they had only asked him about 2 journeys to the east and west. But Allah knew that the target of the question was the 3rd journey. And so he answered the question and gave the 3rd journey. And in giving the 3rd journey, he took them to Gog and Magog. That was the target of the question, Gog and Magog, who are major signs of the last day. And so obviously question 3 must also be connected to a major sign of the last day indirectly. But in answering question 3, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not repeat the question. Why? Nothing happens in the Quran by accident. I want to suggest to you that the target of the 3rd question was Dajjal. And it is because Allah wanted to keep them guessing. Keep them guessing. He does not repeat the question. And in answering the question, he does not take them to Dajjal. And so the word Dajjal does not occur in the Quran. And the word Khidr does not occur in the Quran. And Imam al-Mahdi does not occur in the Quran. And the sign of all signs of Akhiru Zaman, namely the return of Nabi Isa alayhi salam, that also is not stated plainly in the Quran. Why? Why? Answer: because Allah wants to keep them guessing. We will understand but they will not. And so there is a link between Dajjal and Khidr alayhi salam. Dajjal is located in Surah Al-Kahf. And it is not by accident that Khidr alayhi salam is located in Surah Al-Kahf of the Quran. I want to end now by suggesting as gently as I can, by advising that this is the road of Islamic scholarship. It is with sadness that I have to say that the world of Islamic scholarship has failed and failed miserably in even understanding what is happening in the world of money today, what is happening in the world economy today, what is happening in the political world today. And so you have Ikhwan al-Muslimun in Egypt, and you have the Salafis in Egypt joining in elections like vote for me, vote for me, vote for me, joining the circus with no knowledge. That is not the road for you. The political system which has come today has come from Dajjal. The modern secular state has come from Dajjal, and you don't even understand that. And you want to bring back Islam by going for elections in the modern secular state. Is that the Sunnah? The world of Islamic scholarship has failed and failed miserably in responding to the challenges of the modern age. And what you and I have to do now with our sons and our daughters is to bring a new world of Islamic scholarship to be. And that world of Islamic scholarship, which is to respond to Israel and the Zionists, has to walk the path of Khidr alayhi salam.